And it is time to get started. Hey, welcome to At The Track Live. My name is Coach James. I am the creator and lead instructor for All About Aerodynamics. What is All About Aerodynamics, you ask? Glad you asked. Even if you didn't ask, All About Aerodynamics is a science program where I use Hot Wheels cars to teach kindergarten through 6th grade students about a range of science and physics-related topics, including but not limited to friction, force, aerodynamics, drag, lift, Isaac Newton and his 3 laws of motion, kinetic energy, potential energy, elastic force, a whole range of topics. After we have gone over the science, after we have conducted experiments to drive home those concepts, then and only then do I bring in about 400 different Hot Wheels cars, and each student has the opportunity to select a Hot Wheels car they think would be fastest in a series of races based on everything they've learned in the course. After they have selected their cars, they examine their cars, they take a picture of their cars, they weigh their cars, they test the speed of their cars, they check the year the car was manufactured, what materials the car is made from. All of that information they can observe, they put into a spreadsheet, and then they set up a 1/64th scale quarter-mile drag strip, and we have a series of races. And they observe how their cars performed. Did their cars perform up to or below their expectations? And if they had the opportunity, would they select that car again, or would they make a different choice based on what they've observed? In the end, we have fun with Hot Wheels cars, and we learn science. What could be better? If you would like more information about our science program, All About Aerodynamics, all you have to do is go to our website, aaerodynamics.com, or you can follow us on Instagram. AA Aerodynamics is the handle. All of the information you need is there in the bio. And any questions you have, you can reach out to me and I'll be happy to answer those and figure out how we can bring our program to your school or your organization or your special event. But this is not all about aerodynamics. This is all about Aerodynamics presents At The Track Live. So what is At The Track Live? Well, before I can take those cars in to the classroom for students to use, I have to make sure that I have them cataloged and organized. And At The Track Live is where I get the opportunity to introduce new cars into the fleet. So I mentioned that I bring in about 400 different cars. Well, in total, we have 905 cars that are potential cars to be chosen from. And there will be more because I have cars in storage, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab those cars out of storage. I am going to bring them here. We're going to crack open those cars. I'm going to get a picture, shoot a little video, get all the information I need, and then those cars are going to be entered into the fleet. So by the end of the day, we're going to be up over 910 cars in the fleet. And since the track is already set up, we take those cars, take them to the track, have a little mini tournament. But wait, there's more. You have the opportunity to participate. All you have to do is go to AtTheTrack.live. What am I thinking? AtTheTrack.live, you're going to have 3 options. One's the YouTube stream link. One is the Twitch stream link, which you don't need because you're already here. But the third link is the most important link. That is the one that says choose your car. When you go to that link, you will be taken to this page. And on this page, all 905 cars that are currently in the All About Aerodynamics At The Track Live fleet are listed, cataloged, and organized. You can scroll through. We have every imaginable kind and type of Hot Wheels car. Even if we don't have the exact car you're looking for, we have one that's very, very similar. We have fantasy cars. We have cars based on real cars. We have trucks, we have wagons, we have F1 cars. We have cars shaped like hot dogs. We have Matchbox cars, a few of those in there. We have character cars. There are cars from the 70s, 80s, 90s, from the 2000s. Some cars that were just released a few weeks ago. There are cars based off of bugs. There are cars that are metal on metal, really heavy cars, like the Basher 2, this one here. Cars that I had when I was a kid, like this one, the Basher 2. There are cars that kind of go beyond explanation. Well, this old 442 with the donk wheels. We've got this one. I don't necessarily know why you might pick it, but if you do decide to pick it, there it is. It's there waiting for you, waiting to be picked. We have fire trucks. We have buses. We have ice cream trucks, taco trucks. We have Lamborghinis, more Lamborghinis than I can count. We have Batmobiles. We have another car that I noticed we have a lot of are Ford or Mustangs, just different types and kinds of Mustangs. Maybe you want a Shelby Cobra. We've got those. Maybe you want a 2010 Ford Shelby GT 500 Super Snake with the red bottom. We've got that right there, all ready for you to pick. So all you have to do is find the car that you want, and when you find that car, you click on it. Let's say it's this one, the Backdraft, and you can take a look at it. You can see the reflection, whether it's metal on plastic or plastic on metal. And if this is the car that you want, you would take the number, in this case 318, and you would take that, drop it into the chat, and I will pull that car, and then we will see how your car does on the track. Hey, Roughshod. Okay, so Roughshod is going with car number 42. So on Wednesday, on Wind Tunnel Wednesday, there were two cars that he was considering. It was between this Honda and this strange kind of tuned out Subaru. And he ended up going with the Honda, which is, let's see, this one. The Honda Racer. We threw it in the wind tunnel, and because of the kind of unusual design, it was a little tough to tell, to get a lot of information to kind of really figure out what it was that we'd be seeing when this car finally hit the track. So, you know, the wind tunnel didn't give us too much insight, but we're going to see what happens when this car hits the track. It is unusual, but hey, like Roughshot said, you got to take risks. At a certain point, there's only so many what I would call safe picks in there. The Lamborghinis, you know, are going to perform to a certain degree, but when you're talking about really trying to find a kind of out-of-the-box pick to beat our fastest in fleet car, I think when we find the car that beats out the BlitzSpeeder, I think it's probably going to be some fantasy car, and it's going to be some car that maybe we didn't consider, or it's going to be a car with like an unusual design, and this one fits the bill right here. Christopher, hey, how you doing? He is going with number 510, which we threw into the wind tunnel as well. And he was considering, he had two choices. One was McLaren Solus, and the other was the Mercedes CLK, which is, let's see, it is, I just passed it. Here it is. This one. It is a good looking car. When we put it in the wind tunnel, we were getting some interesting results and seeing how the air was flowing. It was hitting the front of the car, and then it was streaming up way, like the airstream. Typically, it'll flow along the body of the car. until it gets to the roof line, the back of the roof line, and then it kind of tails off. But with this one, the air was hitting that big frontal area, and it was coming up over the top, and it was really kind of arcing up over the hood to the roof line. And so it was just an unusual kind of sight to see in the wind tunnel. And I'll be curious to see exactly how this car performs today. So we have those two picks in, and there are a couple others. Beyblader, he submitted a pick, and he's going with McLaren, not the McLaren Solus Christopher was considering, but the McLaren, I think it's a 720. So we already have those cars lined up and ready to go, and we will see which cars come out on top, because the car that does come out on top is going to have the opportunity to go up against our fastest and fleet car, which has been, and is still this one, the BlitzSpeeder. And the BlitzSpeeder has been dominating competition for a while now, and it is really going to be hard to beat. And we throw this car in the wind tunnel, and we take a look at it, and we see exactly why it does so well on our track. And part of that has to do with the fact that its aerodynamic profile is pretty much, I mean, I guess I would say at this point, perfect. The air flows right across from the tip of the car, the front bumper, right up over the hood to the windshield to the roof line. And then with the BlitzSpeeder, the back of the roof does not drop off. And that drop off point, that is usually, for most cars, right around here. When most cars, when the roof line drops off, that's where we usually see the air kind of separate from the body of the car. And we talk about on Wednesday that creates an area of low pressure that versus the high pressure at the front, and it creates a pressure drag which goes from high to low, so it's moving this way. It's moving against the forward momentum of the car. So what you want to do is minimize that pressure drag. Also, then the car is going to be able to move forward down the track at a faster speed for longer. Drag is still going to be working to slow the car down, but if you can minimize the impact of the drag, then the car is going to maintain its speed for longer. And so when we put it in the wind tunnel, the air flows right up over the top, right up to the roof line, and right across this back area to this wing, and there's a couple of openings there, and then right off the tail. And this wing is another thing that is beneficial for this car, because it's this wide flat wing, and it presses right up against the launching block, and it's just a little bit above the roof line. And basically the BlitzSpeeder gets very consistently good pushes out of the launcher. And some cars, which we'll see, like with the car that Roughshods picked today, the exhaust on the car is coming out at a point. So there's just going to be one little point that is touching the launching block. And when that happens, cars, it's kind of up in the air what kind of launch they're going to get. Sometimes they get pushed out straight. Sometimes they get pushed out and kind of go off to one side. And that causes a number of problems. But depending on the kind of launch that the car gets, that's really going to go a long way to determine how it does on the track. So the BlitzSpeeder gets consistently good launches. It has a shape that minimizes drag. And by minimizing drag and getting consistent launches, it tends to stay straight on the track, and that avoids some of the friction that occurs when cars get bad launches and kind of bounce back and forth. So, and the weight is right in our sweet spot of 32 to 36 grams. The BlitzSpeeder weighs 32.4 grams. all of the cars and most of the cars that we've seen do very well on the track are in that range. We have seen cars outside of that do well, but typically a car that is outside of the 32, so if it's lighter than 32 grams, it is going to usually slow down towards the back end of the track, because drag is going to just slow the car down, and it's not going to have the weight to kind of push through. Excuse me. And then we see with heavier cars, they tend to slow down because they're that heavy. Because both the cars, when they launch out, are getting the same amount of force. So if both cars are getting the same amount of force, then the lighter car is going to move faster and most likely farther down the track, but it's going to move faster. The heavier car is going to need more force in order to keep up, but it's not going to get more force. It's getting the exact same amount of force. So that's why you really want the cars to be within that range of 32 to 36 grams, because then you're going to have just enough weight to push through that drag and keep up some speed, presuming the aerodynamics are correct. But if you're too heavy, that car is going to slow down. And when we see that with the really light cars and the really heavy cars, you see it at the back end of the track. And that's where it looks like one car is slowing down and the other car is speeding up. Well, we know the other car is not speeding up. It's just an optical illusion because the one car is slowing down. So we'll see what happens with these cars, because even when you go to the page and you pick, that's the one thing that you can't really account for is the weight, because you won't know until I weigh the cars. And we'll weigh the cars once I pull those and we take a look. Now, one car that we took a look at last week was this one. It was the Hot Wheels Video Racer, and I came across this. I was cleaning some things up and plugged it in, charged it up, and what it is, it has a little camera embedded in the front of the car, and it's got a little micro USB. It's got a little LCD screen right here on the back, and it has two modes. It has a track mode, and then it has an outdoor mode. So the track mode is 60 frames per second. Outdoor mode is 30 frames per second. And the 30 frame per second video is bigger, but there are less frames, so it's kind of choppy, especially on our track where the cars are moving really quickly. So you don't see as much. The 60 frame per second gives you a better view. The camera's pretty low resolution, but it is okay. Now, the one thing that I realized when I plugged this in and we put it on the track is that the battery on this thing is not holding the charge like it used to. So I plugged it in, put it on the track, and basically I can get 2 races. It'll stay charged and on for about 2 minutes. And I tried to show, I think I tried to show the video at the end of the episode last week, and I think it cut off just before the cars actually raced. So I do have the video. Let me double check. Is this the one? I just have to check and make sure I've got the right video that I'm pulling up. And is that it? Because one of these cuts off and the other, is this the one that cuts off? Yes, it is. there's only one of these that is working. Let's see, is it this one? Let's try. Yeah, so the zoom, it doesn't, well, there's a couple things. One, they don't make that GoPro anymore. You can probably find it on eBay and probably find it a little cheaper than what it was going for initially. Let's see. Let's try this one. Is this it? But this is me talking. Where is that video? It was, I'm trying to find it, but the it just wasn't really working out. It was the quality, it stays on for just like maybe 2 minutes, at if that, and it's, you know, I'm gonna try and take this apart. I had to find little torque screwdrivers to bits to get these pieces out. So I'm going to try and take this apart and see if I can actually get the battery out, swap it out. But let me see. I want to show you this video, but I'm not sure if this is which one it is. Let's try. Let me see here. I'll put this one on and we'll see if this works. And there you kind of have it. That is basically what it looks like, what the footage looks like, and that was the video racer versus the BlitzSpeeder, and of course the BlitzSpeeder was faster, of course, which is good because then you kind of get that trailing view, but you also get to see really how the cars are going down the track. And there were some things that I saw on the track. It's actually, if I could get this camera working, it's a good way for me to send a car down the track, look at the footage, and make sure everything's straight. Like I use a laser level and some other things to make sure that the track is straight. But yeah, I think my big disappointment now is that the battery, it just won't hold a charge. So I'm going to take this thing apart and see if I can, if there's a battery in there that I can change. I'm sure there's someone on YouTube, I'll be able to find out some information, and see if I can get that thing working longer. But yeah, that's the Hot Wheels video racer, and yeah, I mean, it's not awful, and especially this came out in 2000 and I want to say 11, something like that. So obviously the video quality has and camera quality has improved a lot. I don't know if Mattel plans to make anything else like this. They did, as Christopher mentioned, they had a little sled that fit that GoPro, that Hero 10 on there, and you could send that down. I had one of those that does not, that it doesn't work. Why don't I show the zoom in from Hot Wheels? Because it's just a sled and there's nothing to it without the camera, and I don't have that camera. The camera that I had that fit in there, it died, and when I replaced it and got a new GoPro, it's bigger, and it's not the little square thing that fits in there. So I don't even have anything to put in the thing. So now it's basically just a sled with wheels. And unless GoPro makes another smaller version, smaller little cube camera, or Hot Wheels makes an updated version of the video racer, then there's not going to be anything that we can put on the track. But this was better. This was better than that GoPro, because the GoPro essentially was a sled with a big cube sitting on top of it. So as far as aerodynamics, it was awful. And this is definitely faster than that was, and it's less likely to bang into the tripods and do other things. So I have a little video that I put together with the footage I was able to take, and just talking about a little 2-minute review of the video racer. And there's a little bit of editing that I need to do before I can put that out, but that'll be out in the next day or so. All right, let's see. We have some races to get to. We have cars to introduce into the fleet. I think I'll probably go live when I try to take the battery out of this one. And the other thing I'm going to do is this car, this Riley Scott, what was it called? The Riley Scott Mark III. This was a car that was picked, I think either Never Ending may have picked this one last week. And the problem with this car was that these little, like right here, and that splitter kind of curved up around the sides right there, and that made it just too wide to be able to fit into the launcher. So what I'm going to do is something I don't do often except to make cars fit, is I'm going to cut these little side parts off, this part off right here, just so that this car can fit onto the track. And it's a good looking car, and I was kind of thinking, well, I don't want to cut it and mess up the car. So I was going to order another one, but then I thought, what am I going to do with the one that's not cut, other than just keep it on a shelf or in a drawer. So I'm going to cut this one. I'm going to see if I can do a better job of it than I did when I tried to cut off the sides of this car, this MST Suzuka. We had 2 of these, and because of these sort of parts of the body that flared up around the sides, this car is too wide to fit in. And when I tried to cut this off the first time on the other car, I ended up cutting into the wheel, and that was a wrap for that car. So This one I am going to try and, I got to figure out how to cut this off without damaging the wheel. Don't know if I'll be able to figure that out, but with this one, all I need to do is just clip this part off, and by next week this should be ready to race. All right, what are we getting into today? Let me see. I pulled out a bunch of cars, and some I'm going to have to see whether or not we already have those in the fleet, but one that I'm pretty sure we don't have in the fleet is this one, this 69 Dodge Coronet Superbee. And I will double check just to be sure that we don't already have one of these, but you never know, because I don't always remember exactly. I'll have the same car, but it'll be a different year. Let's see, 69 Dodge, 69 Dodge. We have a 69 Dodge Charger, a 69 Dodge Charger 500, a 69 Ford Mustang. Now we're getting into the Ford, so cool. We don't have one. We do now. We have a 69 Dodge Coronet Superbee, and it's even got the little Superbee logo on there. So let's crack this open, take a look. I like this car. I like the stance of the car, which you'll see in just a second. Let's check the weight. It's weighing in at 36.5 grams, so it is right a half a gram above. Oh, here's yeah, there were some technical things that we've been kind of going through on a regular basis, which is this camera overheating. And it's the only, so for all these webcams I use iPhones, and old iPhones, and this one is a, what's this one? This one's a 12 Pro Max, and there really was no reason why it should have been overheating like that, but it was, and it would do it regularly. And so I went back and I erased the phone. I erased it and put only, like, it's only got the absolute basics, because something was causing this thing to overheat. And I think what I found was there was a VPN thing on there, and I think that was running in the background, and I think that was causing the thing to overheat. So maybe that was it. That was the problem. I don't know. We're gonna find out today. So if this thing overheats today with absolutely a fresh, clean software installed, there's nothing on here. It's all just the basic factory issue, whatever. So if it overheats now, then I know there's some other problem with it, and I will have to take it to Apple to get it straightened out, but hopefully it will stay on. This is the Dodge Coronet Superbee. Back end is flat. I like that stance, although it's the wheels a little narrow. They're kind of tucked underneath the car instead of being flush with the body, which probably isn't going to help this car get the best launch. So, you know, we'll have to see how that works out. But I love the yellow and the black. Again, it's got the hang on, it's in focus right there. Let's zoom in. Got the little Superbee logo right there. And let me back this out so we can get our still picture. Flip it around. I think the fact that this car is narrow is what's going to be a problem. It will probably bounce around the track quite a bit, and that's not how you win on our track. Bouncing around. You need a car. Your car it needs to stay straight, and it needs to get a good launch. Get a good launch and stay straight. Those are the two biggest factors. Turn this just a little bit. And now we have the 69 Dodge Coronet Superbee. We have our camera that has not yet decided to overheat, and we are ready to go. So let's see, and get rid of that. All right, next up, we are going to be looking at, I have this one, which is not going to show up because it's green, but it is the 17 Pagani Huayra Roadster, and I am going to check and see because I don't know if it's a 2017, but I'm pretty sure that we have a Pagani in here. So let me check the years. 17 Pagani Huayra Roadster is car number 812, so this one's going into the prize bin for some student to have the opportunity to win. See what we've got here. We have this one. I'm pretty sure we don't have one in the pack because it's new for 2025. This is the Alfa Romeo Giulia TI Super. Giulia, I'm sure I'm not pronouncing that correctly. The Giulia TI Super. It is part of the Compact King series, and here's some information on the back. Born in 1962 in Milan, Italy, designer Alfa Romeo raced to victory in Alfa Romeo's first true homologated touring car, sporting the Quadrifoglio logo. Only 501 units were produced, making the T1 Super a super rare racer. Okay, so we'll see if this super rare racer can do anything on our track. It doesn't look like the kind of car that's gonna really, do something special, but you never know. You gotta race them. All right, let's crack it open. All right, this car is weighing in at 33.3 grams, which is not too bad. So let's go ahead and throw it up here and see what we've got. This is it. This is the Alfa Romeo Giulia TI Super, Giulia. Don't know how to pronounce that. But one thing with this car is it's got these the wheels are little. Now it's appropriate. I mean, it fits the design of the car. But when we're thinking about the car racing, these wheels, I don't know if I've seen these wheels on anything other than there was like a ice bobsled type car that we had a little while ago, and I don't know if I've seen these wheels otherwise, but this is what we've got, and this is the Alfa Romeo Giulia TI Super, or Super TI Super. All right, and this one is, let's see, and I'll shoot this video while I add it in. I mean, we've had small cars, light cars, compact cars do well on the track, but this just doesn't seem. There's nothing about this car from whether you're talking about just the aerodynamic profile of the car, whether you're talking about these wheels. There's nothing that suggests to me that this car is going to do well on the track. But one thing I will say is it is all about matchups, and depending on which car this car gets matched up against, you never know. GIULIATI Super. All right, and I think I have a car. I think I have a car that I might introduce just so that we have a fair and even matchup. And it's a Matchbox car, which could give the advantage to the Alfa Romeo, because Matchbox cars, for whatever reason, just don't do as well on our track. They simply don't. So we've got this Alfa Romeo right there, and the TI Alfa Romeo Giulia TI Super. And since we have that car, and it was, let me check the manufacturing year. This was doesn't say. Thanks a lot, Hot Wheels, for not putting that information on there. I'll have to look it up. The next car I'm going to introduce, which I wasn't necessarily going to put it in, but then I decided, all right, it's going in. With the Giulia, that convinced me that car needs a good car to match up against, and so it's going up against this one. It is going up against the 1986 Volvo 240. If you were around in 86, 87, whenever afterwards, you saw a lot of these. These were pretty standard cars that you would see on the road, and now you're going to see it on the track. This is the 1986 Volvo 240. Let's crack it open. This will be a solid matchup. That Alfa Romeo versus this Volvo. The Volvo is weighing in at 30.4 grams, and we will see if that light weight is going to work for it or if it's going to work against it. We will see. Let me switch the camera over here, and we'll take a look. We're going to have the battle of the sedans. See which one comes out on top. The Volvo, the Matchbox Volvo, or the Hot Wheels Alfa Romeo. Now, I would go, if I would have to pick, I think I would go with the Alfa Romeo, just because Hot Wheels cars historically on our track tend to do better than the Matchbox cars for the most part. We have had a few Matchbox cars that have done well, but they're usually much more kind of streamlined in that supercar, hypercar fashion. I think we had a Matchbox Bugatti that did well. We also had that car from, I believe it may have been a week or two ago. It had a strange name, the Radical SR3 XXR. That one did pretty well, and that was a Matchbox car. So I think that this is not going to be the next Matchbox car to do exceptionally well. Plus, so the weight, it's 30 grams. We already said the sweet spot's 32 to 36. That Alfa Romeo comes in at 33 grams. So my money is on the Alfa Romeo, but until we put it on the track, we don't know. Drop this in here. Get a little contrast so I can get this picture. And switch over here. And zoom on in. And here we go. We have our Volvo sedan 86. These cars were reliable, but reliable isn't what we're looking for on the track. We're looking for winners. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for the fastest Hot Wheels cars on the planet. And if you're going to take down the BlitzSpeeder, if you're going to take down some of these other cars, these McLarens, these fantasy cars, you're going to need to come with, I think, a little bit more than the Volvo and the Alfa Romeo are going to be capable of. But you never know. So we will see what those cars have to offer a little later. And now we've got, let's see. We've got the Coronet Superbee. We've got the Alfa Romeo Giulia TI Super, the 86 Volvo 240. And I think we need to throw in a car that, you know, until they hit the track, you don't know. But we need to put in a car that, you know, that we think may have a shot just based on the way it looks. So let's see. I have a box here of cars that, I don't know, they were just loose cars, and why they're loose, I don't know. But there are fantasy cars in here. There are some regular cars based in here. So I want to pull one of these out and see which, let's see. Let's go with a fantasy car. How about, see about this. What is this one? This is the, oh, maybe the reason why they're not in here is because they don't have names on them. This car looks very familiar, and I think I'm pretty sure we have one in the fleet, but there's no name on the bottom, and I am not going to look it up right now, so that car stays. Let's see. This one is the Retroactive. I'm going to check and see if we have one of these in the fleet. And I've got to be, let's see, the Retroactive. We have yep, we have a Retroactive car, 777. So this is going to be a prize car. What else do we have in here? We have, I'm looking for a fantasy car. I think we've gotten, all three cars that we've introduced today have been based on real cars. So I think we need to go the fantasy car route. And here's one that looks pretty cool. This is the Muscle Bound. This one, but I'm pretty sure that it's called Bifocal. That other one. Okay, I will take a look and see. Appreciate that. Thank you, Christopher. Let's see. Muscle. What was this one? Muscle Bound. I know we have a Muscle Speeder. Yep, we also have Muscle Bound, car number 191. So this Muscle Bound is going as a prize car. I I mean, I guess if we're just going with the real car, well, what's this one? Let's see what this is. This is the Slingshot, but this Slingshot, I can already tell the axle is bent, so this car cannot race. So that one is out. This is, maybe there's a reason why these cars are in this box. Now we've got a 94 Chevy Caprice. Here's another cop car. Is it, I think it's Beyblader or Never Ending. One of those two loves to pick cop cars for some reason. And we've got an old school 94 Chevy Caprice Classic Police Cruiser. I wonder if we have one of these in here. I used to have a 91 Caprice Classic, and it was like driving a boat. Or I've never driven a boat, but I'm going to imagine it's what driving a boat felt like. We do not have one in here. Let me check 19, because sometimes the cars are listed as, like with this one it says 94 Chevy Caprice, but sometimes the cars are listed with the full year, so it'll say 19. We have a 1994 Mitsubishi 300 GTs. All right, I guess this old school cop car is going in. It is the 94 Chevy Caprice Classic Police Cruiser. It is weighing in at 30.5 grams. So when I was saying that Alfa Romeo is not going to be doing much on the track, I could be wrong, because it could beat the Volvo, and it probably could beat this cop cruiser. So let's go ahead and take a look right here. This is the NYPD Matchbox 94 Chevy Caprice Classic. Let's go ahead and get our still picture here. And then I will fire up, grab the video, and it's been so far so good as far as the camera not overheating. I think that that VPN app that was running in the background is what was causing the problems. But we've only run it for a few cars, so I don't want to get too excited. All right, let's see, what have we got here. This is car number 909. This is the 94 Chevy Caprice Classic Police Cruiser. Let's see. You have a 96 Chevy Impala SS. Yeah, the those were similar, and they were a little bit cooler. The Impalas definitely had some sharper angles on the corners, and these Caprices were kind of rounded out and just kind of had a less cool shape. The one that I had, the 91, I got from my grandfather. Once he had stopped driving, there weren't a lot of miles on it, so it was a pretty reliable car, and it was the last car that I had that was before everything was kind of computer driven, where you could actually get in there and, you know, if something went wrong, you could get in there and go under the hood, buy a manual at AutoZone and get in there and fix it. With the car I have now, I mean, if you don't have a computer science degree, you might as well keep the hood down and take it to somebody who knows what they're doing. So, all right, we have this is probably one of the first times when all of the cars that we've have in the fleet so far are all based on real cars. We've got the 69 Dodge Coronet Superbee. We've got the Alfa Romeo TI Super. We've got the 86 Volvo. And now we've got this 94 Caprice. We've also got, that means we have two Matchbox cars in here, because this is a Matchbox car. So we've got two Matchbox cars. All the cars so far are based on real cars. Let me go ahead and take a look at the manufacturing year, which is 2019. And I will add that information into the spreadsheet. And I will see now if I can find, let's see, let's find another car to throw in the mix. This one, I think this is the Super Fin. Hyper Fin. This one, I think this was from the Fast and Furious TV Racers show, something. It was like a cartoon thing on Netflix. I don't know if they're still doing it, but there were a bunch of cars that came out of that. So let me check and see if we have a Hyper Fin. Hyper Fin. It's interesting because it's got the open wheels, but those are actually the back wheels. So the front wheels are protected, which is good. And oh yeah, thank you. It's Beyblader who picks the cop cars. So if he shows up, I'll have to let him know, like, hey, got another one for you. This is the Hyper Fin, and we have a Hyper Fin. Car number 680. So this is another prize car. I did pick up this one, this VW Volkswagen T3 Custom. We already have one of these in the fleet, but I just like the color of these. I like these kind of minivan cars. And this, kind of like the Ford GTs, is just one that if they put it out with a different kind of color scheme, I'm going to pick it up just because I like the design of that. But we already have one in the fleet, so this one is just going to be hanging around the garage. So that's that. Let's see, what else do we have? What else do we have in here? We have a what is this? Saleen 57. And I'm trying to check this one. Trying to make sure the wheels aren't, nothing going on there. All right, let's see if we've got a Saleen 57. This is not the most visually appealing car, but it doesn't have to look good. It just has to be fast. Some of the cars look good and are slow, and that is not ideal. All right, let's see. Looking at the S's, we've got the Salt Shaker, and there is no Saleen. I'm sorry, Saleen S7 is what it is. So let me see what this weighs. And comes in at 37.8, so it is above, outside of the sweet spot. This car is probably, it's either one that my son had when he was younger, or it is one that I bought loose, and it's definitely been played with. But the wheels, as long as the wheels spin, turn, and there aren't any issues there, then I don't have a problem putting it in the fleet. And so let's get this here. And we will add this one in. This is the Saleen S7, and I think this is another car I think this is a real car. That's an actual brand, so I think this may be the first time that we're going all in with all actual cars. S7, and this one's got a flat back end. I think aerodynamically it's on point. There's nothing I see that's I don't see any red flags. And of the cars we've introduced so far, I think this would probably be it. Okay, I see. Let's see. And yeah, Christopher, we'll put that one in. I see this is the bifocal 2, which is that car. All right, and let me just get the Saleen in here. This is really, this is a situation where I wish I was a customizer, a Hot Wheels customizer, because I think that this would look really good, just with nicer wheels, and just that the paint, touching up the paint would definitely help. But nevertheless, it doesn't matter if it looks good, it just needs to be fast. And that is all that. It's not all that's important, but it's what's important. Be fast. Just be fast. It's like the Raiders slogan, just win, baby. That's it. Like everything else aside, just win, baby. Just be fast. So, we have the Saleen S7. Hey, Never Ending, how you doing? Glad you made it in. Let's see. We have the Saleen S7. And then we are going to throw in let's see. Where did I just put it? It was this one. It is let me just double check. Yep, that's it. Thank you, Christopher. It will be this one. The bifocal 2. There was a original bifocal car that looks to be one of the older 1971, and then they updated it, and we have the bifocal 2, which is this one. It weighs in at 34.9 grams. Let's go ahead and put it right there. And this car now, we have all these cars that are in the mix today that are based on real cars. This is our first fantasy car of the day, and I think this is probably now just moved into the spot to be the lead car to take the race. I don't know what that Saleen's going to do, but I think this car, just based on everything we've already seen previously and all these other races, this car, I'm about 99.9% certain this car would be faster than, definitely faster than the Volvo, faster than the Alfa Romeo, faster than the Caprice, and that Superbee, I don't know. And the Saleen, I don't know. But these fantasy cars are kind of wild cards. You just never know what you're going to get with them. But this one, This one may be the one. It may be the one. Let's see. And I'm going to lock this in. Get that video. And this is car number 911. I guess we should have made the that police cruiser should have been the 911 car, but nevertheless, we'll put in the bifocal 2, and we will see how this car does, and then we're going to go ahead and take a look at I will pull all of your picks, and never ending. Okay, he's going in with car number 76. So we will take a look at that one right after this thing finishes coming around. And I think with this one, aerodynamically, pretty good. The wheels, I like that stance. There's not really anything to interfere with that airflow. The back end is flat. Yeah, I think this car is definitely, not definitely, but it's I think this is going to be the car that is going to be matching up against the BlitzSpeeder, unless, at least of the cars that I've introduced. Now we're going to take a look and see which cars you all have picked. Check the manufacturing year on this one. It is not listed. So that's another one I'm going to have to look up. Yeah, well. All right, let's see. Car number 76. What has Never Ending come up with? Car 76, the Roborace Robocar. Interesting. This one has raced before, because I couldn't remember if it was the Roborace Robocar or the Robocar and I kept messing up the name. But we will see if the Roborace Robocar can get the job done today. Roborace, which I presume is a real kind of experimental car made for something. Or it could possibly be a fantasy car, but I'd lean towards it's a real car based on some experimental whatever. All right, we have our field. I am going to go and pull these cars. We've got the McLaren, we've got the Mercedes ready. So I need to pull the Roborace and I think one other. All right, so I'm going to go and pull those cars. I'm going to throw up the little bathroom break music, and I will be back in just a minute after I have gotten those cars. 1, 2, 3, flush it. I'm wondering, Never Ending and Christopher, did you guys have a chance to put your BlitzSpeeder? Well, Never Ending, did your BlitzSpeeder arrive? And Christopher, did you have a chance to run the BlitzSpeeder on your 6-lane raceway? I'm very curious to find out how the BlitzSpeeder does on gravity tracks versus our track here, which is flat drag track. All right, yes, Christopher did pick the Roborace Robocar a while back. I don't remember how it did, but from the looks of it, it looks like it should do well. So it weighs in at 27.4, so it's very light, and we already kind of talked about the pitfalls of light cars a little while ago. And oh, nice. So Never Ending says that his BlitzSpeeder will be in the mail today. That's fantastic. I can't wait to see how that all goes. This is the Roborace Robocar, and there's nothing about this car that suggests it shouldn't be fast. It's got the openings down in the front. If we turn it here, these are open, so the air should flow right through. You can kind of see there. The air should be able to flow right through this area, right back here, and right through the back. So there isn't anything on the top of this car that should be interfering with the airflow. It's got this flat piece in the back. It's got this diffuser, and then this flat part right above that should press right up against the launching block. It should get a good solid push. It's a wide car. I don't remember how this car ultimately performed, but to me, just looking at it, I can see why Christopher picked it. I can see why Never Ending's picking it today. It makes sense, and this is a car, other than, I will say, the weight. The weight is an issue because it's at 27 grams. That is pretty light, and I think if we see this car slowing down toward the back end of the track, and that back third of the track, we'll know that it's the weight. That if this car had a little more weight, it would probably be that car. But we're going to have to see how it performs, because I don't remember what this car did. I don't remember how it performed, how it came in, any of that. So we are going to find out today. The next car up is Roughshod's pick. It is the Honda Racer, coming in at 31.1 grams. So that's fine. I mean, it's a gram, 9/10 of a gram under the ideal kind of getting into that zone. But this is the part that concerns me, is this part right here. This is going to be the only point of contact with the launcher. And let's see. Yeah, because it sticks out a little further than the wheels. And I just don't know what kind of push this car is going to get out of the launcher. I think if it gets consistent pushes, then it should be okay. In the wind tunnel, we saw that the wind was hitting in this area and then streaming up over the middle. How this engine kind of sticking up here impacts the car, I don't know. It's also interesting that there's a plastic base. The white part is metal. This part of the engine is plastic. This part is metal. So they made some interesting kind of choices with this one. And we'll see how it all works out on the track. So we've got that Honda Racer right there. And let's see. What is up next? We are going to take a look at Christopher's pick, which is this one. It is this is a wide car. 36.8 grams. The weight is good. Just slightly outside the margin, but we've got this one, and I don't have, it's in the other room. This is a wide car, and I haven't checked to make sure that it fits into the launching block, but it's just, I'm looking at this back end and it kind of flares out just a little bit, like right back here. And let me grab the spare track launcher. I just want to make sure that this car will fit in the launcher. And it does. It does. And it's wide. So this is, let me switch over to this view. Oh, wrong thing. Right here. So with this car, it fits into the launcher and there is really no wiggle room side to side. Like, it just fits in there. And this is great. This is actually perfect because the car can't, it's not going to get a weird bounce. Like cars that are skinny. Do I have one around here? Just a little narrow. Oh, I know which one we'll take. For example, this is the other car that Roughshod was considering, the Subaru. And you see how much room there is, and even with this one, we've seen cars with much more space, but what happens is they can come out when they get launched, and they can turn, and if they come out like sideways or crooked, then they're going to hit one side of the track, and then they're going to start bouncing back and forth. When you have a wider car like this, it's going to get a straight push. There's not going to be any kind of deviation where it wanders off to one side or the other. Let's bring back, if we take a car like this Forky, even this one, this is wide enough because the wheels are sticking out, but we've seen cars that are just very narrow and they bounce around and they don't get solid pushes. But these wide cars, this one, like other than the Mach Speeder, there are very few cars that are this wide and then fit in there just perfectly. So if this car doesn't do well in the races, it's going to be because, I mean, maybe it's the weight. We also saw some interesting things with the aerodynamics. The air was hitting here and then just really just kind of tailing up. It wasn't flowing onto the hood and up to the windshield and the roof line. It was just really kind of tailing up. So this is going to be an interesting car to watch on the track. It's also got a flat back end right here. And so it's got the little spoiler and it's got the wing. But the spoiler is what's sticking out beyond the wing. So that's what's going to be touching the launching block. So this is going to be a good one. That's a good solid pick. Let's see. So we looked at the Honda Racer. We looked at the Roborace Robocar. And we are going to throw in Beyblader. He went with and decided he wanted to go with this one. The McLaren 720S, I believe. 34.6 grams. And we're going to drop this here. And take a look at this one. This is his pick, the McLaren 720S. And I think this is another solid pick. This is one of those ones kind of like that Saleen. I think this car is going to match up with that Saleen, where good aerodynamic profile. There's nothing that I see wrong with it. The back end, it's got a flat enough back end that I think it should do just fine. If it did well, I wouldn't be surprised. If it did just okay, then I also wouldn't be surprised. So we will see what happens. Okay, we have our field right now. We have the McLaren 720. We have the Roborace Robocar. We have the Mercedes CLK. We have the Honda Racer. We have the Dodge Coronet Superbee. We have the Bifocal 2. We have the Alfa Romeo. We have the 94 Caprice. And we have the 86 Volvo. So that is what we've got. So we are set up for an interesting race. Until we tossed in the bifocal, all the cars that we were looking at were based on real cars. So this is probably our biggest race involving cars that are based on real cars. So this will be interesting to see if any of those can step up, or if it's just going to be the fantasy cars that dominate. So we are actually presuming that Honda car and the Roborace Robocar are real cars. Then we know that the Mercedes and the McLaren are real cars. We really only have one fantasy car in here, and that's the bifocal. So it's all real. We're keeping it real today. All real cars. We're about to hit the track. And of course, if this is your first time viewing and all about aerodynamics at the track live race, this is what you are about to see. You are going to see our 3-screen race view, and all of the cars are going to start in the launcher at the top of the screen on the left. I'm going to give a countdown: 3, 2, 1, race. Hit the switch. The cars are going to come firing out of the launcher from top to bottom. They're going to pass out of the bottom of the screen on the left. They're going to show up at the top of the screen in the middle. They're going to go from top to bottom. They are going to pass out of that screen, show up at the top of the screen on the far right, which is our finish line camera. And the cars are going to come from top to bottom, cross the finish line. The winning car will be indicated with a solid red light. A solid red light indicates the winning car, and a flashing red light indicates the losing car. The race is the best 2 out of 3, so the cars will switch lanes after the first race, and then they will go again, and the first car to take 2 races will move on in the tournament. If a car crashes and leaves the track, then we throw out the results of that race and we simply start it up again. If a car crashes twice consecutively, then that car is disqualified, because if a car crashes twice consecutively on our track, then there is probably some issue with the car that is not going to be solved by just rerunning the race. So car crashes twice consecutively, and it is done for the day. So that is it, and we are about to hit the track. We've got our cars, so I will see you over there at the track in 30 seconds. All right, we are just about ready to go, and I'm going to just double check sound. 1, 2, yep, sound is good. We are ready to go, and it is time to see which of these cars is going to come out on top, and the field is stacked in favor of the real cars. So can the real cars beat out the one fantasy car? Or is the one fantasy car going to be the car that emerges on top? We're going to find out. First race up, we are going to go with the Alfa Romeo TI Super against the Volvo. So we're going to get that race right out of the way and see which of these cars is going to get the job done. Okay, we're going to put the Alfa Romeo in lane 1. We're going to put the Matchbox 86 Volvo in lane 2. These cars are lined up. This is our first race of the day. Here we go. Alfa Romeo TI Super in lane 1. That is the Hot Wheels car. And we have the 86 Volvo, which is the Matchbox car, in lane 2. Lane 1 Alfa Romeo, lane 2 Volvo. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. And the Alfa Romeo took it. There was a little issue I noticed with the tripod, but it didn't. If it was going to affect the car, it would have affected the Alfa Romeo, which it did not. That car won the race, and we are going to have the cars switch lanes, and then we will see which one is moving on. All right. Alfa Romeo, Hot Wheels car, 86 Volvo, Matchbox. We've got 2 Matchbox cars in the mix today, with the Caprice being the other. So we've switched sides. We have the Volvo in lane 1 and the Alfa Romeo in lane 2. Race number 2. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. And the Alfa Romeo takes it. So it will be moving on. That's just another case of another Matchbox car not really getting the job done. Just so let's see. We are going to, let me remove this one from the track, and there's a little piece of dust. All right. Let's go. And what is it? Yeah, that Volvo, the Matchbox cars, I don't know what it is, but I mean, like I mentioned, Mattel makes them both, but there's something different. Something's going on that's different, and we know it's not necessarily a weight issue because we weigh the cars and they're not far outside they're not that different in weight. Honda Racer. Yeah, Christopher wants to see the Honda Racer against the Mercedes. Yeah, we can do that. All right, Honda Racer, Mercedes. Rough Shot and Christopher going head to head, and we will see that Mercedes had a very it was something weird was happening in the, we were just getting weird kind of results in the wind tunnel, but I like the fact that it's a wide car, that it should get a pretty good push, but it is heavier. The Honda Racer is in lane 2, and as we discussed, that exhaust is the only part of the car that's touching the launching block. So it's really, I think, going to be a question of what kind of launch does this Honda Racer get. We know that the Mercedes should, by all expectations, get a really good solid launch. So here we go. The Mercedes is in lane 1, and the Honda Racer is in lane 2. Race 1, here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. And the Honda Racer took that one, and I think that it got a good solid launch. Nothing to worry about, nothing to be concerned about. And the Mercedes, again, it's heavier, and did that kind of play into the outcome? Possibly, because the cars are they get the same amount of force, and in order to move an object, a heavier object, you need more force. In this case, the cars are getting the same amount of force, and then we're going to find out when there's a weight discrepancy like there is here. Usually that advantage goes to the lighter car. All right, so we've switched lanes. We've got the Mercedes in lane 2. We have the Honda Racer in lane 1. Race 2, here we go. Three, 2, 1, race. Okay, so the Mercedes came back, took that race, and now we are going to the third and final race. We are going to find out which of these cars is going to be moving on. Is it going to be Christopher's Mercedes, or is it going to be Rashad's Honda? And one of these two will be looking to join the Alfa Romeo in the next portion of the tournament. We're going to put the Mercedes lined up again in lane 1 and get the Honda lined up in lane 2. And now with that race, I mean, maybe with the Honda, again, we don't know what kind of launches it's going to get race in and race out. So maybe the first race, it got a good solid straight launch. Maybe that second race, it got pushed off to one side or the other. Either way, here we are, race number 3. We've got the Honda Racer in lane 2. We have the Mercedes in lane 1. Race 3. Here we go. Three, 2, 1, race. The Honda took it, so the Honda will be moving on, joining the Alfa Romeo, and we are now going to be looking at a matchup of, we're going to go with the Superbee, and let's see, we'll go with the Superbee, and we're going to go with the Superbee in this cop car, the 94 Caprice Classic. The Chevy Caprice Classic up against the Superbee. We're going to drop the Superbee into lane 1. We're going to put the Caprice Classic, which I'm looking at it, and inside the car it's even got the little computer, the little cop laptop deal on the console, so that's kind of cool. All right, so we've got the 94 Caprice in lane 2. We've got the Superbee in lane 1. Race 1, here we go. Three, 2, 1, race. Woo! Calling all cars, calling all cars. The Caprice took that race from the Superbee. So this Matchbox puts a win up on the board. We're going to switch lanes and see if it can make it a clean sweep, a 2 for 2. And then we'll be dipping in and seeing getting our first look at the fantasy car, the bifocal 2. But right now we've got the Superbee in lane 2, we've got this very light Caprice in lane 1. All right, the cop car Caprice is in lane 1. The Superbee is in lane 2. Cop car is up 1 race to none. Race 2, here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. Superbee, lane 2's been pretty hot, except for the Alfa Romeo. Took a race out of lane 1, but lane 2's been pretty hot today. And the Superbee has evened things up. Now, can the cop car come back and take one for Matchbox, or is the race day for the Matchbox cars about to come to an end? All right, let's see. And Superbee lining up in lane 1. And the Caprice is in lane 2. But I've got to get it to line up against the launching block, which it doesn't seem to want to do. Got it. Come on, stay. All right, got it. Caprice, Chevy Caprice 94 in lane 2. Superbee in lane 1. Race 3. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. And the Superbee takes the race, and that is the end of the day for the Matchbox car. But hey, this Caprice had a good showing. It was not a total embarrassment, and the Matchbox cars have kind of hung in there, but there's something about them. Something is absolutely different between the Matchbox cars and the Hot Wheels cars. And what that is, I'm not exactly sure, but there's something there. There's something different. All right, we're down to, in the first round, we've got the Roborace Robocar, which is going to hit the track against the Bifocal 2. And this Roborace Robocar, we said it's light, and we know that, but there's no other reason. There's no reason why this Roborace Robocar shouldn't do well on the track. And if it doesn't, I'm gonna have to assume it has something to do with the weight. So what you want to look for in this race is there a point where it looks like the Roborace Robocar is slowing down? Or is there a point where it looks like the bifocal is speeding up or opening up a gap? Because that would suggest that the Roborace Robocar is slowing down. And if the Roborace Robocar is slowing down, then that is drag impacting it, and a combination of drag and the weight of the car. So let's see what happens. We've got the Roborace Robocar in lane 2 and the bifocal in lane 1. Here we go, race 1. Three, 2, 1, race. The bifocal takes it. That race was pretty close. It didn't look like, it didn't look to me like the Roborace Robocar slowed down, because the cars stayed pretty much even, with the bifocal holding a slight lead for most of the race. And the lead that the bifocal held stayed about the same. It didn't change. There wasn't like a point where a big gap opened up. So I guess the bifocal was just faster in that race. We're going to line these up again. Switching lanes. with the bifocal being in lane 2, and the Roborace Robocar being in lane 1. So Roborace Robocar in lane 1, the bifocal, which I gotta get to stay against the launching block, in lane 2. Here we go. Bifocal does not want to stay pressed against the launching block. It is now. All right. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. So the bifocal took the race. It did start to open up a gap a little bit towards the back end. But nothing so significant that I would say the Roborace Robocar had a problem or an issue. But I do wonder if that weight, if the Roborace Robocar weighed 3 or 4 grams more, maybe 5 grams more, would that have changed the outcome? I guess we won't know. But we do have a new group. We've got the Alfa Romeo, we've got the Honda Racer, we've got the Superbee, we've got the bifocal, and we've got this McLaren the McLaren 720 that has not raced. So we're going to go McLaren versus Honda Racer. See what happens. We still only have the one fantasy car, which is the bifocal. It looked pretty good, but we'll see if one of these real cars can take it out. So the Honda, I think it really does just depend on the kind of launch that it gets, how it's going to perform. This McLaren, we haven't seen it race yet. This was Beyblader's pick from Wednesday. So we've got the McLaren 720 in lane 1. We've got the Honda Racer in lane 2. Race number 1. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. When that Honda gets a good solid launch, it's a bit of a problem. Honda took that one with ease, with a lot of ease, in fact. So that's race 1. We're going to see what happens with race 2. The McLaren has some work to do if it is going to even up this race. Let's get these lined up. Get this McLaren in lane 2, ready to go. Honda Racer in lane 1, ready to go. Honda Racer's up 1-0. Honda Racer lane 1, McLaren in lane 2. Race 2, here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. And the Honda just hasn't had success in that lane 1, but it's we're going to a third race, and that is going to be to see which car moves on. The McLaren took that race. I say that's one thing about the BlitzSpeeder. It performs consistently, and I think that's also one of the most important parts. Is we just don't know what kind of launch certain cars are going to get. Are they going to get consistent launches? When that Honda gets a good launch, it's fast and it's straight. And when it doesn't, then it slows down. All right, this is race number 3. We've got the Honda back in lane 2. We've got the McLaren in lane 1. Race 3, here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. and the McLaren took the race. Again, I think it's two with the Honda that the fact that it didn't have a flat back end, I think cost it that race, because it just couldn't get a consistent launch. When it got a good launch, it was absolutely right there doing great work on the track. We are now down to the Alfa Romeo, the Superbee, the bifocal, and the McLaren. We're going to go McLaren versus Alfa Romeo and see how this all turns out. Can the McLaren maintain its position, or will the Alfa Romeo come through and knock it out? The Alfa Romeo had those small tires. It beat out the Volvo, but that's not saying much. So now we're going to step up the competition. Alfa Romeo is in lane 1. Alfa Romeo is in lane 2. The McLaren is in lane 1. Race 1, here we go. Three, two, one, race. That Alfa Romeo wobbled around, bounced around the track, but absolutely blew the doors off the McLaren. I gonna presume that something, the McLaren got a bad launch or something, because, the Alfa Romeo destroyed it. Absolutely destroyed it. So that's a little unusual for there to be that big of a gap this late in the tournament. Usually by the time we get to these quarterfinal matchups, the cars are pretty evenly matched, but that was an absolute destruction on the part of the Alfa Romeo. All right, Alfa Romeo is in lane 1, and the McLaren is in lane 2. Race 2, here we go. Three, two, one, race. That Alfa Romeo came to play. It took that race, and in a clean sweep, has taken out the McLaren. So we now have 3 cars left. We are going to see which ones come out on top. It is going to be the bifocal 2 against the Superbee. So here we go to see which of these cars gets to take on the Alfa Romeo in the championship. Who knew? Who would have thought? All right, Superbee is lining up in lane 2. The bifocal 2 is lining up in lane 1. We're ready to go. Race 1, here we go. Bifocal lane 1, Superbee lane 2. Three, two, one, race. The bifocal took it. The Superbee was gaining ground right at the last third of the track, but there was not enough track left. If this track had been about 10 feet longer, then yeah, I think the Superbee would have taken it. But it's not 10 feet longer. It's a 1/64 scale quarter-mile drag strip, and the bifocal took the race. So now we're going to switch lanes. We will see if the Superbee can force a third race, or if it's going to join some of these other cars back in the garage. Let's see here. This here. And we've got there we go. Bifocals in lane 2. Superbee's in lane 1. Race 2, here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. Very close race, but the bifocal took it. The Superbee hung in there, and I think we are now going to find out. I am looking at the bifocal. I don't know that it looks BlitzSpeeder fast, but that's all relative. It's all hard to tell. I do know that this Alfa Romeo has already surprised me. That's been the surprise for me of the day. And we're going to see if this Alfa Romeo has what it takes to take the victory. It is lined up in lane 2. We have the bifocal lined up in lane 1. Bifocal lane 1, Alfa Romeo lane 2. This is the finals, race 1. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. The Alfa Romeo was gaining. I think that's kind of a theme, is that the bifocal is giving up track towards the end, but just like with the race against the Superbee, there just wasn't enough time. By the time the bifocal starts slowing down and the other cars start gaining, there just isn't enough track left. The race is over. But it's noticeable. You can see the cars gaining, but hey, gaining is not enough. You've got to actually win. So now we've got the bifocal 2 in lane number 2. We have the Alfa Romeo in lane 1. Race number 2. Here we go. Alfa Romeo lane 1, bifocal lane 2. Three, two, one, race. That Alfa Romeo lost the race, and the bifocal 2 is today's champion. But that Alfa Romeo surprised me. It hung in there and was right on the bifocal's tail, but it was not fast enough to get the job done. So we've got the bifocal, the one fantasy car in today's group, coming out on top, and it is now going to take on the ultimate fantasy car, which is the BlitzSpeeder. The BlitzSpeeder is going to be lined up in lane 1. And the bifocal will be in lane 2. If I can get the BlitzSpeeder to stay put. And the bifocal is in lane 2. The bifocal is today's champion. Fantasy car versus fantasy car. The BlitzSpeeder has been extremely dominant, but will that continue? I don't know. We're about to find out. BlitzSpeeder, lane 1. Bifocal 2, lane 2. Race number 1. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. BlitzSpeeder's not playing that game. I was thinking before the race started that the bifocal 2 can't afford that thing it pulled with the Superbee and with the Alfa Romeo, where it starts to slow towards the end and give up ground. But it didn't matter because the BlitzSpeeder took a lead and didn't look back. The BlitzSpeeder was absolutely on top of things. The BlitzSpeeder had everything you need to have a dominant performance. So the BlitzSpeeder took the first race and is now in lane 2. The bifocal 2 is in lane 1. And if I can get it set up, there it goes. All right, bifocal 2 is in lane 1. BlitzSpeeder's in lane 2. Race 2, here we go. BlitzSpeeder pulled away from the launching block, so gotta get that. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. Wow. The BlitzSpeeder was destroyed in that race, but something happened with the launch. I mean, it's still lost, but it clearly, I think, rolled ahead of the launching block, and therefore it didn't get the proper push. So it lost that race, but that's like the amount that it lost by. It suggests like there was a problem with the launch. But hey, it happens. It can happen to the best of them. Problem is, it better not happen again, because if it happens again, then we'll have a new fastest in fleet champion. We've got the bifocal 2 in lane 2. We've got the BlitzSpeeder in lane 1. Shockingly, this is tied up at 1-1. So here we go. This is race number 3. BlitzSpeeder, lane 1. Bifocal 2, lane 2. Here we go. Three, 2, 1, race. Yeah, I thought so. Not sure what happened there, but hey, BlitzSpeeder took it. BlitzSpeeder is still our fastest in fleet car. I'm going to gather these up, head back into the garage. We'll take a look at the winners, the losers, what's coming up. Just a minute. So the BlitzSpeeder had a bit of a scare, but not really. Something happened in that with that second race, that the BlitzSpeeder, it kind of rolled, or it was moved away from the launching block, and so I had to put it back into position. And I think what happened is it rolled forward a little bit. And again, if the cars are not pressed up right against the launching block, then the launching block hits the cars and punches them out, which causes them to do all kinds of strange things on the track. Whereas what you want is, if the car is pressed up right against the launching block, it will push it out of the launcher. And so I don't know what happened with that race, because the BlitzSpeeder, the bifocal 2, beat it by, I don't know, 10 car lengths, and that just isn't, that's not something that happens. But the BlitzSpeeder made it, and hey, no problem, never ending, and we'll be looking forward to your BlitzSpeeder report, and we will also be finding out which cars are going to be in the mix. This Alfa Romeo, this car did a lot better than expected, just with the shape and design. I wasn't expecting much. Those little tires, still wasn't expecting much. It bounced around the track a lot, but it was fast. And I think that this is another solid. There's a lot of solid cars in here that, as long as they're not racing the BlitzSpeeder, are are perfectly capable of winning any random tournament any day of the week. So we'll see how that goes. Roughshod is looking at car number 191. Let's see what that is for next week. His Honda Racer. It was kind of up in the air. Oh, he's going with the muscle bound. We had a muscle bound that I pulled out earlier, but it turns out we already had one, and the one we had is this one. So we are going with this one. I like the look at this. It's muscle car, fantasy car, and I like this one. And I was interested. I'm glad you picked it because I wanted to see what that other one was going to do, but we already had one. So we've got the muscle bound, which is car Roughshod's looking at, and then we have the car. Let's see. Christopher is considering two different cars, 745 and 649. So let's go ahead and see what he's got. 745. Oh, and 649. So we're gonna hit 649 first. Let's see what 649 is looking like. 649, the Circle Tracker. This is the character car, the Spider Girl character car version of this, the Circle Tracker. So we've got that he's considering. 649 Circle Tracker. And then let's see what's up with car number 745. That would be the, I passed by it, 745. Oh wow, this Volkswagen T3 Custom van that we were talking about. This one's interesting. It definitely has the it has an interesting aerodynamic situation happening in that back end, because if you just look at the cab and then the way it comes to a point, it's definitely got a teardrop type shape, which is ideal. That's the most aerodynamic shape there is. The issue and the problem that we had with this one when it raced is that this frontal area is so massive that the air just kind of stacks up in the front, and that kind of prevents the car from really building up and maintaining speed down the track. Hey, Beyblader, no problem. We raced your McLaren 720, and it did all right. It did all right. It came up against an unexpected sleeper, but otherwise it did pretty well. So you can you'll be able to check the video in a few minutes and go back and see how your car did. And for anybody else, you want to watch any old races, you can go to our YouTube page, click on the live tab, and you will see all of the races, all of the episodes, all of the cars listed. VW Custom. All of the cars listed, cataloged, and you will be able to jump right to the reviews, to the races, whatever it is you want to see. You can do that on our YouTube channel. On this one, yeah, there's openings on the top and there's openings on the side, which are good in terms of controlling the airflow. But the problem is, before the air gets to that point, it's got to get across this big flat front area, and that's what's going to happen. I think when we put this in the wind tunnel on Wednesday, we'll see the air really stacking up in front of this car before it moves over, under, and around. So this is definitely one of my favorite Hot Wheels cars and castings. We'll see how it does on the track if this is the car that you end up going with. Now, if you want to, you can go back and look and find the episode where this raced and kind of look and see how it did on the track, and then that might give you a little bit more information about whether or not you want to stick with this one or go with your other pick or find a different car. But either way, we will be back here on Saturday to find out how all of these cars perform. I will go into storage. I am going to pull out even more cars. We've got a lot to go through. Even in that case that I just went through, there's still some other cars. I'm looking at, there's a Nissan Skyline, there's a drag, there's a tractor racer car just sitting here. So lots of cars to choose from. We were up to 911 cars in our fleet, and there will be many more to come as we march towards 1,000 eventually. We will be here on Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific on YouTube, Twitch, and Instagram with Wind Tunnel Wednesday. And then we will be back here on Saturday for At The Track Live, 11 a.m. Pacific. And if you want to select a car to race, all you have to do is go to AtTheTrack.live, select the Choose Your Car tab, and then find the car you want, and you'll be ready to go. If you would like more information about our science program, all about aerodynamics, all you have to do is contact me. You can contact me through our Instagram account, or you can go to our website, aaerodynamics.com, and find out all the information that you need right there. I am going to I'm going to go on live either today or tomorrow, probably tomorrow, and try and take apart this video racer and see if I can what the battery situation is in here, because right now, like I said, when I charge this up, I'm only getting about a minute or two of battery life, and before it used to be 12 to 20 minutes you could get. So I'm going to open this thing up, see if I can find the battery. If I can change the battery, that would be great. I also saw a YouTube when I was looking for information about this, those McDonald's Happy Meal cars that have been picked in the past, the ones with the little switch to have the light come on. I saw a guy on YouTube who actually took one of those apart and replaced the little batteries, their little watch-sized batteries in there. You can replace those batteries, and then the car will come on again. It's a little tricky to kind of get it opened up, but I'm going to take a look at those and try it. So those things where I'm just kind of messing around with Hot Wheels and adjusting the track and doing some other things, I'll just be popping on, going live randomly, and you can, sit there and have it on in the background as I try to figure out how to get these cars working. Also have to get this one clipped so that it can fit on the track, because I definitely want to see this car race. I think that once you remove this little part that's preventing it from going in the track, I think this car should perform well. So we will see. Got a lot of things going on, but appreciate you watching. If you want to see any of the old episodes, go to the YouTube channel. I know most people watch after the fact, but if you want to participate, that's even better. So we had some good races today, and we will have some good races next week, and we will be here on Wednesday, see the cars in the wind tunnel, and that's what we have going on. So for All About Aerodynamics, for At The Track Live, and for Wind Tunnel Wednesday, I am Coach James, and until next time, I will see you at the races.